responsibilities are innovation in the area of SAP HR cloud technologies like success factors. इस पर नहीं. His current responsibilities are innovation in the area of SAP HR cloud technologies like success factor, design, implement, develop and maintain the SAP success factor product for customer. He was working in countries like India, UK, Saudi Arabia, Japan, Australia, Germany and Sweden. Now I would like to call our director sir for his motivational words for today's session. Bansod sir, please join us.
Thank you, Jagrati. On behalf of our chairman, Shri Praveen Vashishji, Vice Chairman Aditya Vashishji, all the directors of the different institutes of MIT Group, head of the department, the Vishwas department, GS coordinator of the students, Jagrati Nagdiya. I'm very happy today to see Vasavada between us, and as you know very well that he is alumni of our MIT group. He passed out in 2007. He has taken admission in 2003 and passed out in 2007. I also came to MIT in 2000 only. So he had a good time together with his batch, and I'm proud that Ankit is there in London today and talking to us. And he's a solution architect, TCS London, UK. And today he will be ending his webinar on upcoming trends of technologies in business execution. Definitely all our faculty members and the students who have joined this webinar will be benefited by his words. So without taking much time, I again welcome Ankit and Hardik. Two brothers were with us during that time, 2003-2007. So good memories. And now I will request Jagrati to continue and start the session. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Bansod sir. Now I would like to request.
Jagrati?
Yes, sir. Okay. So thank you very much, Bansod sir, for your kind words. Now I would like to request Mr. Ankit Vasavada to start his session and share his knowledge with all of us.
Thank you, Jagrati. Thank you, Bansod sir. Yes, indeed, a good memories of MIT. And yes, we have learned so much, and that's why we are here to share certain knowledge. We can share certain knowledge in front of all of us. So let me just share my screens. It will be a good presentation. I just prepared a few pointers in it, so at least we can have some understanding what we want to share. And I will just quickly get into the section then. So just give me a moment, and I will share. Perfect. I am sharing my screen, and I'm still waiting to be reflected on the live. I'm just watching the same thing on live on my other device, so at least I can see how the experience is going on and how the things are going on. So I think So Jagrati, I think you have to just put the screen, shared screen on this particular presentation. Perfect, I can see that. Thanks, Jagrati. So hello everyone. You've got the bit of an introduction. So we are going to talk about upcoming trends in technology and business execution. And I said it's my point of view. It's not the definite definition, because these type of topics does not have any specific definition or specific kind of a procedure which you should follow. It's like when we meet our customers, when we talk to different customers in different geographies, different culture, those customers are asking something from us, being a technology company, to enable them with the future. So they want to see their business going in future, because ultimately whenever we do our coding, whenever we learned our coding in C++, Java in our time, nowadays it's all different, but yeah, in our time it was C++, Java and all. We generally at the college, we generally learn how to code, how to do a programming, how to do how to develop a screen or something like that. But ultimately our goal is, when we get a job or get to start a business or anything, our goal is to satisfy our customers, satisfy our users of the technology. So we'll talk some
Is it
interesting
on?
facts
Is
today, and of course we'll try to define or discuss about the journeys, what different software companies does, and where other customers are going on. So before we move on to those discussions, these are the topics which I'm trying to basically show today, about how the businesses are running. First of all, what business wants, what customers are expecting. And every customer has certain users who are using our system. There are certain things, their demands from the system or their expectation from the system. And of course, there are certain CXOs. So when I say CXO, is all our CHROs, CEOs, COOs, CIOs, a lot of CXOs nowadays. They want something from technology. And when they want, technology companies are doing something in the market to achieve those expectations. So we'll discuss some of the trends on that, and definitely going forward, these are the expectations from the customer by the time we enter into the market. So yeah. So basically, some of the trends, or what different nowadays businesses are doing. So if you see in the market, businesses are changing dynamically. It's not that in our older era we used to do a same kind of a business. My company is doing a business, my competitor is doing the same kind of business, the other company is doing also the same kind of business. They all developing a software, selling it. But now the change is very dynamic, and every company's business is dependent on how other companies are doing. So for example, if I take an example of an organization of telecommunication, if they are using something for voice recognition, so they keep an eye on how Alexa is working, how Google Home is working, how my speech recognition technologies are going on, how my eyes recognition, retina recognition technologies are going on. So these type of things are basically dynamic, and based on that, business will work. Okay, I have purchased a product from Apple, but if I see Android, it's a different thing. So can we have the same features? And then Apple has to dynamically change the business model, or change the way of design of the product or something like that. So businesses are very dynamic, not as stagnant as before we had. Definitely, there is a technology war. Of course, I've just used only two logos nowadays because this is the common war which is going on. But there are very much, very different, very much, too much of war going on between different technology giants. So we all know about between Amazon and Google. So in the area of their APIs, in the area of their voice recognition technology, in the area of their AWS, and if so we've heard certain webinars on AWS, we have heard some webinars on Google Cloud and all. So all these companies are actually doing their actually they are into a war where they just target that who will actually create their product earlier than the other. Similarly, Apple and Android. So Apple and Android is also into a same kind of war. And of course, these type of things we have to change. So if I just combine both of these parameters, if customers or companies doesn't change with this, they will be out of the market. Classic example is Nokia. So business was changing dynamically from Symbian OS to Android OS to Apple and all. When we were studying in college, there was a small phone with Symbian OS, where you can just receive some SMSs and calls and nothing much. But nowadays, virtually, we are doing everything on the phone. So phone is like it's like without phone we can't live. Without TV or fridge we still be able to live, but without phone it's very difficult. So that's how it's being dynamic, and Nokia didn't adopt those things, and that's why currently you see Nokia is not in that competitive market. So this type of things, it's a good example on that. If you see other mobile providers, if you see like HTC and all these things, they are all depreciating, and MI and Apple and all Samsung and OnePlus and all these things are coming up because they are adopting the change, they are adopting the dynamicity, they are adopting all these parameters into their product, and that's why they are basically doing. And why we are discussing these things nowadays? Because being an engineer, when we go into the market, when we get a job in different companies, this is what we are going to do. We are going to do definitely we are going to develop certain codes. We are doing some consultings and all, but keeping all this thing in mind, because this is what our customer want. Of course, way of business execution. So every person or every business has a different idea in their mind how to execute the business. It's not regularly you meet a customer, you just sell your product, customer purchase it and use it. Instead, what people are doing, using different ways of doing business. They are doing some different type of marketings, they are doing some different type of go to market solutions, that okay, I have this different in the market. If company A is doing web design and company B also doing web design, but if company A says that okay, I will give you my product in 10 days, and company B will say you don't have to spend any 10 days. I will just come to your premise, do an installation, and your website is up and running. Of course, so both the companies are doing web design into a same line of business, but doing differently. At the same time, customers, so who are using our product, they are also doing the business differently. Earlier, they used to say everyone has their stores, shops in the malls and all these things, and nowadays everybody is getting digital. You guys are already using Amazon, Flipkart, Snapdeal, and all these things, all platforms in India. So definitely these type of things are getting changed, different ways of doing business. So when you go into Amazon platform, you will not see any Google product. If you go into Google store, you will not see other products. So these type of things are also changing nowadays. So different type of business. Plus, at the same time, there is an element of innovation. So if you see today, you are going into Amazon, you see some new feature, and you are expecting the similar kind of a feature in Flipkart or Snapdeal or something else. For example, when Amazon, we started using Amazon, so we don't know when Amazon started, but yeah, when Amazon initially we started using, you have to search a product and find out a product, shop and pay, something like that. Nowadays, you go into the market, you like a product, click a photograph, send into the Amazon photograph this thing, and Amazon will suggest you the similar kind of a product or the same product, maybe. So these type of innovations they are doing. And in other countries, if you travel to US or somewhere, Amazon has started another beta concept where you walk into Amazon store, pick up an item from the shelf, put it into your basket, it is going to add in your Amazon card, and that you can pay from your Amazon Pay. These type of things you can actually see in the trends how digitalization, not only in India, in the world it is going on. And of course, every customer want a best user experience. So if I'm from a technology company, I want my customer to have a best user experience. Even my customer want their customer to have best experience. And that's why whenever they purchase a product from me, they always expect a best experience for them, in for their customers. If I sell for example, if I sell my product to Vodafone in India, then Vodafone also wants the best experience for their customers, and ultimately that customer is me, because I'm using Vodafone. So if I'm selling a product to Vodafone and Vodafone is selling some services to me, so ultimately it is going to me. So if I am satisfied, Vodafone is satisfied. Vodafone is satisfied, then I'm happy again as an employee. So that's how different ball games are going on. So now, what customers basically? Now we talk about what businesses. Now, what customers are expecting from the business is something called intelligent enterprise. So when we talk about intelligent enterprise, we have heard a lot of concepts like blockchain, analytics, machine learning nowadays. Why those things are why those things are going on? So intelligent enterprise, the customer want is something to be happen automatic or intelligently. I'll give you an example. For example, if an employee is going on leave, system should tell you that if this person is going on leave, who will do his task? So if I'm an employee and I have 10 tasks to do in my list, and I'm going on leave, maybe a planned leave or anything, who will do my task? So system should tell you rather than HR is running behind, or some departments are running behind you saying that, okay, Ankit is going on leave, who will do something like that. So those type of intelligence customers are expecting from the system. Integrated enterprise, of course. So when we say integrated enterprise, then different departments of the organization should be integrated. So you do a transaction in finance, that should reflect into your supply chain, that should reflect into your HR, that should reflect into your CXO's report. So everything should happen automatically. You don't have to, wait for a day to reflect all this thing. So everything should be integrated. I'll give you an example into our college world scenario. If for example, computer science department is taking some action, and that action will automatically be reflecting in other departments, and the same reports or the output of those actions to be visible to Bansod sir, for example, being a director, that okay, my departments have taken these things differently, and because of that my student satisfaction is increased, so something like that. So it's all integrations, basically. Running one wheel, it is already challenging the other one. And of course, the last parameter is important, of course, cost. Everybody, every customer want to spend less, gain more. That's the same thing. We also want the same thing. If an app is free on App Store, I will be happy rather than spending 500 rupees for the similar kind of an app. So my total cost which is going from my pocket should be less. So when in terms of businesses, it's like total cost of ownership should be less. So for example, in our old world, so if I just say, when I say old world, I'm just talking about 5 years uh, ago, or just before 5 years, when a customer want to implement or install any system, they need a server, they need an application server, they need a database server, they need the machines to accept it, they need a big data center. Then when you have a data center, then you need a person to manage it. Then within that you have an application server, then you need a person who can manage the application. Then you have a database administrator. Everybody you should have to manage that particular entity. Now that means the customer's operating cost is getting high. Operating cost is nothing but how what all cost customer is spending to run the business. But now what businesses are doing or customers are doing, they want lower cost of ownership. That means if someone will manage my data center, I'll just pay a monthly fee, I'm okay. But that means the responsibility of downtime, responsibility of website is not accessible, is not on me, it's on someone else. So that's how the customers are expecting that. I don't want to, I am a specialist in telecom business, or I am a specialist in retail business. Why should I spend my money on IT to manage my data center? Let someone else do it. And that's how their ownership, cost of ownership become less, and it is basically expenditure to some other company. And that's how customers, what they're expecting. If we come to the next one, what user wants. So the foremost parameter of any of the product, whatever software you develop, whatever product you develop, a module of a software we develop, there are certain things which ultimately the users are going to use those technologies. So ultimately we just have to put something, keeping in mind if user is using, what will be the best experience for them. That means what will be the best experience for them means that they don't have to do much of a transaction, but they can get the best out of the system. So I'll give you an example. If you start any of the new application from App Store or a Google Store, the look and feel is not good. But suddenly after 10 days, a new upgrade comes and the look and feel is improved. You like that application. You started liking that application because that application is now changed. I'll give you an example from 2007 to 2020, a journey. When we were into our college, so currently many of you are, so some of you are in studying in final year or first year or somewhere else. So basically what happens is when we were into our third year and final year, we used to have a social collaboration platform called Orkut, provided by Google. And within a year or two, Facebook came into the picture, and Facebook actually taken the entire market just because of user experience. Orkut was complex to operate, and Facebook was simple to operate. So whenever we develop a product, it was, so there are, of course there are different more parameters, but this is one of the very critical parameters where Facebook win the game, or just capture the market, is the user experience. It was very easy to put a message on a wall, difficult to put a scrap on Orkut, something like that. Orkut was also a good platform, but it didn't survive in the market too long because of user experience element. So UX strategy. Whenever you develop a product, your front screen should look like you know wow type of an experience for a user. The user opens the system, if he feels bored, then the first impression is wrong. That means we have a wow type of basically an experience for a user. And of course, whenever we are creating the wow experience, we have to keep certain things in mind, that human element, because ultimately user or human is going to use it. But at the same point in time, when you are developing a product, information is also needed to run. On the same screen, if you get all the information, you don't have to navigate to another screen, then it is a very good experience. If you say I'm reaching to an information with 5 clicks, and someone is helping me to reach to the same application in 3 clicks, I'll be more happy with 3 rather than 5. And of course, as I said, desired outcome, where I want to reach, that those things also need to be given. The another aspect of it is nothing but a process automation. So when I say process automation, what all customers want, everybody is expecting certain automations. So if, as I gave you the earlier example, if someone is going on leave, something should happen in the background of the system so that you don't have to do any other transaction. What if for example, in a real world scenario, if I say, what if I don't have to, if I don't want to go to the bank and do everything from my home, and when I say a request, automatically everything closed, no approval required, or everything goes smooth without any hiccups. It's the smallest example what I can think of as of now. But basically, the process automation is a critical part in different businesses nowadays. So what happens is, you do again. I'll whenever I'll try to give an example, I will try to give an example from the era of 2003 to 2010 somewhere, and after 2010 to 2020, 10 years of era or 5 years of era, because I've seen both. So when I and there will be an era before that also, which we are not that much, I'm not that much involved in those things because I was still studying and all that. So more experienced person will have seen those things. But I'll give you an example. If I want to I want to open an account, what we need to do earlier, we need to go to the bank, talk to a person. If that person will give me a form, I will fill it up, I will hand it over, give some supporting documents, and then that person will say, okay, come after 3 days to collect your passbook and all. Okay, that was 5 years down the line. Nowadays, we do a message on Kotak 845, right? And your account is open. It's all automation. You don't have to do much. It's something happening in the background. That is nothing but a process automation where you automate the process to get the fast results. And of course, quick turnaround time. What if you, just taking or just carrying out the same example I've given, is about opening a saving bank account. You took 5 days to open an account some time ago, or 5 years ago. Now it's a minutes. So quick turnaround time. That is what user wants, because we are the users for the bank's applications and all. So if I have to just create a fixed deposit, and I take 3 days to fill up all the forms, give the supporting documents, put money in my account, convert it into FD, and then I start my interest gain. What if I just open the app, put some information, everything goes well, and my interest calculation starts from today, this minute. So quick turnaround time. Every system, every person want a quick turnaround time. I remember when I started my job, we used to have 10 days period to run the salary programs because it was complex to have all these calculations and all. And nowadays it reduced to 4 days, 4.5 days. You just start before 4.5 days to process your salary, and the last day of the month you get the salary, something like that. So from user point of view, this is what, and this particular time is going to be going to reduce in future. All this time, what customers will want is that this should reduce. System should know every month and we have to pay the salary. Why should I go and tell the system that okay, now process the salary, something like that, or I will say Alexa process the salary, something like that. So these type of trends we can see from in the future. Coming back, definitely this is an important aspect of it. What business leaders want, and I will take some more time on this slide because this is what our CXOs or CHROs or basically different leaders from the business want from technology. Uh, I will talk about the methodologies, of course. Now everybody wants to be an agile. Now, when we used to study in our software engineering class in 2004 2005, we used to read certain models like waterfall models, spiral models, and all these things. And those models was used for software estimations and all these things we used to read at that point in time, which we used for a lot so many years. All these things we applied into our job, and then completed our estimations and all these things. So, but nowadays, what happens is every customer want something new every day. You don't. Nobody wants a full product on day one. So even if you just say that okay, when we had Apple iPhone 4, there has some 4 or 5 features. Then we came with Apple iPhone 5. We have some more features. 5s some more features. 6s some more features. And within that particular product also we have a small upgrade cycles which will add some more features, some more enhancements, some more corrections. So that means earlier days, what was happening? We went to our customer, take the requirement, come back, develop it, test it, go back to the customer test it, accept it, job done. That means that product project is over. But nowadays, because businesses are dynamic, because our user expectations are dynamic, because our customer expectations are dynamic, that means requirement is also dynamic. So at a smaller period of time, you go to the customer, take the requirement, quickly build it, quickly release it, take another requirement, build it, test it, and deliver it. So that's how we definitely we are into that era now. So today customer will say, okay, I want this process to execute from next week. Okay, I'll take the requirement, go back, do my development, deliver it. This process is ready. And customers say, okay, now add on to this, something on top of it. It's kind of an upgrade or all these things. These type of things are being expected from the market or business leaders. All business leaders want to have a empowered employee. So empowered employee means all the powers should be within the hand of my employee or within the hand of my users. So what happens in typical scenario, if I want to have a change in a code, I have to go to some IT vendor. They will do the changes in a code and deploy it in our servers, and then we test it and use it. Now, what business leader want? Why can't we have that IT person who is developing small changes for a cost, and we just paying a salary to IT person? If there is a small changes needs to be done, let my employee do it. Okay, so all business leader want that my employee should be empowered with upcoming changes or small changes here and there or administrative tasks. We don't have to be dependent on some other organization, something like that. So my employee should be empowered with the information. Tomorrow, my CXO, CIO, CFO will wake up and ask someone. from his employee or from the employee that how many employees we have hired in last week, or how many product we have sold in last quarter. It should not the answer should be, okay, give me a minute, I will run a report and I'll give it to you. So empowered employee will run a report, give the figures as soon as possible. Or if CXO know how to operate the system, just open the system, click on a tile, and just get the result whatever he wants. So these type of things a leader want. What if you don't have to even develop a code? If you just say the system that, okay, what will be my sales in next 1 year, system will tell you in terms of predictive analytics. So what systems are doing?
जी सर मेरे इसकी
They
नहीं
are
आ रही है
actually
माइक की
reading your past trends and predicting your future trends. What you
ठीक है
have done
सर
in
एक
last
मिनट
quarter, at the same time, okay, you have grown up 10% last quarter.
माइक तो
That
सर
means
डिस्कनेक्टेड
next
ही
quarter
है
also it will be a 10%. Last year, quarter two, you have grown up 2%. This quarter, if you do the same practice, you are going to be grown up by 4%, something like that. And those type of prediction or predictive capabilities should be there in the system, so my employee will be able to know. So what happens, system will tell us the prediction, employee will take the corrective action, reactive action, proactive actions, and they can perform their duties. If we talk about best practices, so nowadays many customers want this, that what others are doing, okay, what is acceptable across the globe. If someone is doing from the system or from the business process, if they are doing this way, okay, fine, I will adopt it and I will put my innovation on top of it. For example, if I have a two customer in India, one customer will ask me what will be the professional tax amount for me. I will say, okay, this is your amount, this will be your amount. Then he will ask, what is my competitor doing? Okay, they are doing the same thing because they are following the government guidelines. So what government is giving in professional tax or provident fund angle, they are giving guidelines. Okay, and that those becomes a best practices or acceptable practices by all organizations. So those are government guidelines, but at the same point in time, we will have some more guidelines across the business, how other
यस सर
businesses are doing. If this is acceptable by them, if they are able to complete their processes, of course, they will be able. If they are doing it, I can do it. Something like that. The another important factor is employee satisfaction. So all business leader or any business leader will want that my employee should be satisfied. And how the employee will be satisfied? If they are empowered, if they are using the simple system, simplified system, if they are getting their requirement quick. So all these three parameters are dependent, are actually uh, be useful to achieve the better employee experience. What if I have to use a complex portal and to apply a leave, I'm not satisfied. That means my if I have to apply the leave, it should be easy. So my employee, my users, my people should be happy whenever they are using all this technology, all this platform, and all those remember one thing, that all those technologies are developed by the engineers like us. So whenever we develop those things, we need to keep all this thing in mind. So we'll go to the next one. How products are evolving. So whenever we complete our engineering, we join some of the organization who are actually doing into different area of the market. So some more areas need to be listed here, but yeah, I'll just go through all these things. What all this means and all these things going on, and I will give you a bit of a detail about um, on all these areas, what all different companies are being leaders or they are doing best in their area. So and of course, when I'm saying that I'll give you a bit of a detail, it's all based on my experience. It's not the definite one, it's not the 100% sure things that is the only thing available in the market. It's all based on my experience, what I've learned from different years working with different customers in different organizations. So One of the trend which currently is going on is about voice recognition. You also have understood about this trend nowadays. Alexa, Google Home, all this type of speakers are available which actually recognize your voice. So if I compare between Alexa and Google Home, for example, I'll give you an example. um, Alexa will not recognize your voice, that who is this, if you have a one user or multiple user. But at the same time, Google Home can store up to 6 voices. So whenever you say, "Hey Google," the Google will respond with your name. So if in a family you have 4 people, and you say, "Hey Google," okay, he'll say, "Hi Ankit, how are you?" So if because I said, in case of Alexa, it is different thing. So when I say, "Hey Google," my mobile Google assistant is also started. So that's how, see, this is another way of this all these things, intuitive technologies between voice recognition. Then what happened is Alexa, Google Home, then Siri is for Apple phones, Apple users. They all started with those voice recognition things, and then what they have done, first they have created their own product, and now they are giving all these recognition services to other products. So in my introduction also, it was said that, okay, I'm working for HR clouds and all. So when we talk to our customer, our customer will ask, can I, as a manager, can I approve can I approve the request from my subordinate via voice recognition? And then say, okay, yes, you can do, but yeah, we will have to do some development. We go back, use those APIs, use those things, and enable those products for the voice recognition. So uh, from home, or from while driving a car, manager will say, Alexa, tell me how many requests I have in my list to approve. And Alexa will say, okay, you have 5 requests to approve today, something like that. And then manager will just stop, okay, approve my third request, approve my fourth request, something like that. And Alexa will actually obey those commands and update the system as well. So when you approve maybe a leave request, it will get updated into your system. That means your employee will get notification at the same time saying that your leave is approved. Happy vacation, something like that. Some of so basically, nowadays, if you see, or if you just research in the market, some more organizations or companies are using all these services and building their product. For example, if you see on Amazon regularly, Bosch also come up with Alexa enabled device. LG also came up with Alexa enabled device. That means you can control your TV, you can control your lights, you can control your heating system in the house, you can control your air conditioning in the house with your voice. You don't have to go and press the button on a remote, or your remote, you don't have to search a remote first of all. So that was a challenge. You have to search a remote earlier days. Nowadays you don't have to. You just have to have your voice with you, and you can control your devices. So that's how products, this is what products are helping. Again, robotic process automation. So again, I will give you a bit of an example of, again, this robotic process, how, from where this concept has evolved. When we used our initial days, around second, third year, when we used to go to a class to learn Java and all these things, the first line which we used to write is public static void main string k and all these things. Nowadays, and then what happens, and by the time we pass out, we had some softwares like NetBeans, Eclipse and all. We just drag and drop, and code is getting created in the backend. So that means some automation happen. I don't have to write public static void main anymore. I just have to drag and drop my controls, and my code is being captured in the backend. So that particular change was happened in quickly, in like couple of years or 3 years, or it was there automatic at that time as well. But we don't know. By the time we pass out, we know about all this. So those concepts now evolving today, and what people want, that okay, robotic processes should be there. That means, if I have to do the same task every day, why can't a robot do it? For example, I have my 10 customers asking for same requirement. Why should I write a code 10 times? Can't a robot write it? If I just tell my robot to write it, will my robot will not write it? The robot will do it. Okay, I have certain files available, requirement documents available. My robot will read it and write a code. So how fast it is. So that is something what people are looking at. At the same point in time, for example, um, giving an access to a building. Nowadays we swipe a card and get into a building. Some of the buildings which are more high tech, we call it as more high tech. We just put a thumb or maybe a retina scan to get into a building. So these type of things going on. But what if a robot is standing at the gate and just scan you that, okay, yeah, you are the same person, and allow you to get in. So if you see, if you have read certain news, recently HDFC Bank in Mumbai, they are just trying to have a robot standing on the gate, will ask you what you want to do today. So if you want to, I want to have a to open a fixed deposit. Okay, then robot will ask some question and your fixed deposit will be opened. You don't have to go to the counter and wait in a queue to get the answer from the person. Robot will do it for you. Or for example, I just want to open a mutual fund account. I just want to invest. Can you tell me what are the best mutual funds going in the market? Robot will tell you and book a mutual fund for you, and your things are done. So robots are doing it. We are not. It's not dependent on human. Humans can do more intelligent things. Okay, so these type of things, these are type of things technologies are doing. The next one is about intelligent system. So intelligent system is nothing but I already communicated, or I already told in the start of the session about intelligent enterprise, where systems are doing something intelligently. For example, um, and this example also I've given in my previous slides also, that what if my system will say that last year in August month you have done a sale of let's say 100 rupees, and if you do the same parameter, you do the same thing this year as well, you will do a sale of 200 rupees. So if my system will predict, and then I will take those things to my CXO and say, okay, this year we are going to do a sale of 200 rupees, and CXO say, no, we want to achieve 400 rupees. What you will do, you will go back, change certain parameters, change the business strategies, and then you actually deploy the strategies, and your sale will be not maybe at 400 rupees, but maybe 350 or somewhere near to that. But in this entire process, system helped you intelligently that last year you have done this. If you do the same thing, you will do this. I'll give you a classic example. Nowadays, we can see that cricket. If I still love cricket, not sure about the current generation, but my generation generally towards cricket a lot. Cricket is like a religion for us. And when we used to watch 99 World Cup or previous World Cups, we have the analytics that India is scoring at the rate of 4.1, and we have reached to 196 runs. If we go with the same pace, we'll reach to 250. These type of analytics was done. But nowadays, if you watch a cricket, a detailed level analytics or analysis is going on. What is the pace of a bowler? What is the angle of the bowler? And all these parameters are fed into the system, and system will say, okay, um, uh, this is what will be the record, or this is what will happen. So the training, all in the training to the employee, those things will be used. I'll give you an example. In Germany currently, the systems are also being implemented, those things for intelligent system. It's a good example. And a company, a German company, or a biggest ERP company called SAP is implementing it. What they are doing, they are actually installing a sensors at all the dustbins in the city. And what those sensors will do, they will notify their municipal corporation on a periodic level that, okay, this is the amount the dustbin is filled. Or, okay, 50%, 60%, 70%. And whenever it reach to a certain level, it gives a red notification to municipal corporation employee that, okay, this dustbin is filling fast, go and clean it up. So you don't have to run with your truck and to clean up all the boxes, even if they are filled or not. You can actually save some efforts okay, from so and so street dustbin is filling, I just go and clean it up. So these type of systems are going on. There is one another innovation or intelligence happened in Bangalore. What you do is, as a resident of Bangalore, you just click a photograph of a place where your rubbishes are there. You upload into the Bangalore Municipal Corporation site. Bangalore Municipal Corporation, from that photograph, they will get certain information like what is the location, what is the coordinates, what type of rubbish is there, and the concerned person will go there, clean it up, and upload the same photograph. That complaint gets closed. All these things are happening in the market, and systems people are doing it, systems are helping it. The another thing is, of course, on the fast implementations. So of course, we everybody or all organizations are looking for a fast implementation or kind of a plug and play. As I said in my opening slide, that if someone is telling me that, okay, I will take 20 days to implement the system for you to up and running, another one will say, okay, you don't have to, you just do a plug and play and your system will be running. So what customer will say, okay, I want this 10 requirement from a system. Five or six are being met. Let's do it, and rest we'll take it into agile mode and develop it. So out of 10, I have five things are meeting up. What I will do is I will implement the system, close the system, and slowly I will improve that system. So my first implementation is the fastest. Then we do into agile mode, changes the code, do the implement automation, innovation. All this part we put into those things, and those systems are being implemented or being perfect. And there is no limitations of innovation. If you see in the future, everybody, because people generally ask us, or we in our group of friends, we generally discuss that, okay, if robots are will take place of our work, what we will do. And that is where we are going to do is the innovation. Robot cannot do innovations, they cannot think. The thinking is only with humans, and those innovations we can put into the place and something will happen. If you see certain movies, um, uh, earlier in our movies, if just a transparent screen, someone is just running the hands and everything, they can reach out. If this is the imagination, then that can be a reality someday. So it will be a reality in today's era. But some point in time, in say in 2006 or 2007 movies, someone shows this thing as an effect in the movie, that becomes realization. Earlier, if you just see, a person was walking near the door in our old era movie Shakal and all. Whenever they used to walk to a door, the door was opening automatically. And that point in time, we were amused by looking at those screens, how the door opened automatically. Nobody pressed a button, nobody just touched the hand. And nowadays, all the elevators or lifts are opening automatically. You don't have to, or the doors are opening automatically based on sensors. So those started with innovation, came to reality. Today also, being an engineers, we will start or think about some innovation, it will become reality soon. So that's the only thing I wanted to cover. I'm happy to have some questions if there is any questions available on YouTube chat. Otherwise, we are good to close. Yeah. So that's the thing which I wanted to share today. Thank you very much. Over to you, Jagrati.
Thank you, Jagrati madam. Thank you so much. Am I audible, Jagrati madam? Yes. Good afternoon, everyone. It's my privilege to propose vote of thanks on behalf of CSE and IT department and MIT. Extend a very hearty vote of thanks to speaker of today, Mr. Ankit Vasavada sir, for gracing today's event and sharing with us your findings about technology trends and business execution. Thank you so much, Ankit. Thank you, Ankit. Uh,
Thank you.
I may like to express my sincere thanks to Professor Jagrati Nagdiya madam for their hard work through this event. Thank you, Jagrati madam. Finally, I would like to place hearty thanks to management of MIT Group, Vice Chairman Sir Shri Aditya Vashi Sir, Director Shri Vivek Bansor Sir. Thank you so much. And last but very important, thanks to all our participants from all the CS and IT stream. Thank you so much. Thank you one and all. Thank you so much. Over to you, Jagrati madam.
Thank you. Goodbye. Thank you, everyone. Bye for now.